always a satisfying moment to return to your ship.
You are cleared to dock at the clinic, the best medical facility in the settled systems.
Pressure normalized, and we're docked.
My mother wanted me to be a doctor. Doc, this area's off limits. Authorized personnel only. All right? Obviously. If you need help, go ask reception.
Something else I can help you with? I can't give you any details, because I don't have any. I only know that it's contracted out by someone doing private research. I'm afraid I got nothing for you there. All I know is whoever we contracted it out to has it guarded at all times. Oh yeah, anytime someone needs access to a lot of medical equipment, we usually end up with a private contract. But they're not all this secret, of course. Believe it or not, I've had that same conversation with the guard myself. He doesn't even know what's going on. But it's fun to speculate. Well, he never said not to say anything. I know he's posted here because he got demoted for an Aurora addiction. He just struggles sometimes. He only lightens up when Dr. Oshina's around. I think he has a bit of a crush. It's kind of cute if you ask me. Any other questions? Dr. Oshin is our newest doctor here. He works in the medical wing under our lead doctor, Dr. Darvish. I'm sure he'll be the one taking over should Dr. Darvish ever retire. I know I shouldn't say this, but we've treated him before. He's only still working here because he came forward about his addiction and asked for help. I'm just concerned about a relapse. He still seems to struggle with staying clean. Whenever Dr. Oshin is around, his face just lights up. You can see him trying to hold back a full-blown smile, almost. I think a positive relationship could be really good for him. It's just hard to tell if Dr. Oshin feels the same. I know there's a doctor and some nurses, along with a handful of volunteers. My best guess is they're running some sort of clinical trials, but it's been a long time running. I haven't seen anyone leave, or they may just be releasing them when I'm not here. My pleasure. Let me know if you need anything else.
Another day, another shift.
Dr. Darvish took a chance on me, hiring me fresh out of training. Need to make sure she doesn't regret it. Tending physician, I'm new here, so really what I do is watch Dr. Darvish's every move and try to imitate it. Sounds a lot less impressive when I say it out loud. It's really a matter of safety, believe it or not. The types of things we work with here. Let's just say you wouldn't want them spreading on a populated planet. In here, we're all nice and isolated, just in case. Not the most comforting thought, but it's the truth. Oh, well, that's appreciated. There really isn't anything you're qualified to do in here. No offense, of course. But, I do have some data requests from other facilities in the settled systems. Everyone always wants to know what we're up to.
Usual courier has been less than reliable lately. So if you could get this slate where it needs to go, that would help us. And put a few credits in your pocket.
Thanks for stopping by.
Are you here for a procedure?
Perhaps we should consider not staying long. Or breathing deeply.
You know, just by breathing the air in here, you are being exposed to about a dozen different viruses. I'm kidding.
I used to be an actuary. Now look at me. Yeah, I bet you do. Well, that's... Thank you. Maybe... I need to think about it. I'm still willing to talk. Fine, I'll issue you an access card. Infinity better get it together.
I have never required treatment here, and I hope that I never do.
An oath, and I'd say this is a firm violation.
Look, we got that shipment. Although who knows what Faye expects me to do with it. But maybe approvals really are on the way. Now please, get back to Kai. Make sure his vitals are stable. I don't want to lose him. We'll figure this out. I promise.
Fine. But if we lose Kai, that's it. I'm going to SSNN. I don't give a shit about my career anymore.
You and me both.
Just have to get through this day.
Hey, who let you in here? This is a restricted area. In that case, you'll want to speak to Dr. Lane.
Yes? You need something?
I'm not ruining my career over this. Excuse me, but this is a restricted area. You need to leave. Checking up on us? I feel like we should be the ones checking up on you. What do you want? Oh, I see. Send an ill-informed rep so I get the pleasure of re-explaining everything while you aren't able to give me an ounce of information in return. I've been promised official authorization on Project Dominion for weeks now, and every time it's almost done or just a few more days. With competence like this, it's a wonder Infinity Ltd is able to stay in business. Is that what you traveled all the way here to ask? It's empty because we've lost our third round of patients. Now, do you want to get to the point? I've got failure reports to document. Of course you do, because daily reports simply aren't good enough. The third group, like the others, failed to take the internal neuroan, all resulting in death, with the exception of one, currently comatose. Sean and I are hopeful we'll be able to revive the subject, but until we receive proof of human trial authorization, any fourth group will be refused. Well, there's a level of brain activity that keeps us hopeful. Making sure that man lives is our #1 priority. Don't act so surprised. Infinity is well aware. In fact, I remind him of those statistics in every report I send, which happens to be daily. The standard response is always, failure is to be expected, but keep pushing forward. Well, you'd be the first from Infinity to think so. It's a relief to know they have at least one employee with some sense. Now, anything else I can help you with? Oh yes, refined rothicite? As if I have the proper tools here to create experimental metal alloys. Good. I specialize in neurosurgery, not chemistry. It's absurd you'd expect us to handle something like this in a medical lab. It's on the table. It's all yours. Anything else? Let's just say I was blinded by my own determination to restart my career. I'm pretty sure my feelings in the past are why Infinity hired me in the first place. They knew I'd be desperate to regain the respect of my peers, and failure would mean utter ruin. Then we're all in a lot of trouble. This means everything we've done here at the clinic has been illegal, and we'll all be tried for murder. Now that's a naive question. The clinic is either being paid to turn a blind eye, or Infinity is doing all they can to prevent them from knowing. Good. Now if you'll excuse me, work to do.
I don't think you're supposed to be here.
adventure you can fly away from. Is that how the saying goes?
Be careful if you run into those ecliptic jerks. They fly around like they own the Seven
We're on our own again.
Sure you're okay?
Don't pass any. Ryujin has certainly taken time to craft an appearance for itself. Almost literally.
Was your first test?
I will not tolerate the theft of any nearby objects.
If you have the rothicite, speak to Veena.
Is that my beautiful shipment? You were right about this one, Masako. Looks like it. This should be more than enough. Now, I shall excuse myself and get to work on finalizing this prototype.
So, what did you learn about CM Station RC-1? Lucas must be desperate if he hired them to collect the rothicite. Were there any survivors? Our station on Carinae 3A and Consolidated Mining's contract were both confidential. We had no reason to believe they'd be under any threat. Of course, we had no reason to believe we had a mole, either. Sicking ecliptic on a station with nothing but miners and scientists? Corporations can sink low, but this is a new level. Now, I also had a report that you were spotted at the clinic. I take it you traced the shipment there? I figured it was related. And were you able to determine the purpose of this secure wing? They're going to pay, all right. But if you have something to add to their list of criminal activity, I'll be happy to use whatever fuel you can provide. The clinic serves all, but it can't be denied that they require credits to run. In most cases, the clinic is also the best choice for research. Not everyone has the resources to have decent medical facilities like us on site. So, it sounds like Lucas has reached a new level of desperation to ensure his future as CEO.
Infinity appears to be on an entirely different level of corruption. It cannot be allowed to continue.
I'll make sure Yuko's team extracts every bit of information they can from the clinic's database on this. Between hiring Ecliptic and unauthorized human trials, we have enough to take Lucas down for good. And with the rothicite secure, It's almost time for us to make our move. Not long, according to her. She and DeMarcus have everything prepped and ready. I believe it's just a matter of creating the alloy and molding it according to her design. It certainly is. And it's also time to inform the rest of the board on the current situation. Head up to the executive floor and speak to Dalton. He has an update for you on the mole's identity. I've called a meeting, and I expect you to attend. It's time to put the final plan in motion.
Don't wander into any restricted areas.
Good. You're right on time. I re-evaluated all the evidence. It took every resource I had, but the final answer is clear. Ularu is the mole.
So this clears Imogen of wrongdoing. Good.
In due time. I'll be reaching out, but right now we need her to remain in hiding. Yes. You made the right call. I've briefed Masako and discussed her plans on handling this. While we both agree Ularu is guilty, we need irrefutable evidence before presenting this to the board. For now, we lead everyone to believe that Imogen was the mole, and the situation was dealt with.
I can understand the need for deception, but it does come at quite a cost.
Imogen is a resourceful woman. I have no doubt she's in a safe house of her own design. In fact, she probably sees this as a paid vacation. My guess is she's lounging on a couch somewhere, binging all those movies she hasn't had time to watch. Good. Keeping Ularu in the dark is the key to taking her down. Masako has tasked Ularu with writing the program to bring down Infinity Ltd. We believe she'll take the chance to incriminate Masako within the program, so this could provide the evidence we're looking for. You will be tasked with the assignment to infiltrate Infinity, so before you go, I want you to bring that program to me. If I can't find hidden code on a single slate, I certainly deserve to be fired. Ularu is limited in what she can hide here. Plus, she'll have no reason to believe anyone will be looking in the first place. Then we'll have to find another way to build a case against Ularu. And it won't be easy. I can't imagine a more satisfying ending. Now, let's attend a meeting. We called you all together to discuss a recent security breach. We discovered a mole within the company who leaked vital information about Project Dominion to Infinity Ltd.
You've got to be kidding me.
Just don't tell me it's Veena. I think we've all noticed she's not here.
Before you speculate any further, no, it's not Veena. The guilty party is Imogene Salzo, much to my disappointment. Our operative here obtained the evidence to confirm it.
Dalton, how does something like this happen?
Imogene is highly trained. Ularu can even speak to that. We demand the best. So that's the threat we deal with.
I may have well-trained operatives, but security is your responsibility, Dalton. This is a huge failing on your part.
I accept the responsibility, but let's not forget. The mole has already been exposed and dealt with.
Of course, thanks to another of my operatives. Watch me.
Imogene's been dealt with, so bickering is pointless. All I care about is reacquiring our property and what this might be costing us financially.
Veena is completing the internal neuroamp prototype as we speak. Our operative will receive the implant, infiltrate Infinity Ltd, and obtain any and all research. I have it on good authority. The experimentations they've done to replicate the missing pieces of our work have resulted in fatalities.
I can't imagine the mess their legal department has on their hands.
If I may make a suggestion, we should give this evidence to David at SSNN. It's the best neutral method of releasing this information to the general public.
That'd make my job easier.
David it is, then.
Masako, the internal neuroamp is ready if you want to send down the candidate.
I hope you're ready for this. And that's precisely why I know we can count on you. Veena will be waiting for you in the neuroamp division in R&D. Once you're done, meet me in my office. Be ready to discuss the details of your next assignment.
Yes, what?
Can't get anything done around here without running into red tape.
We don't get a lot of visitors up here.
Neuroamps are fascinating, are they not? I'm still surprised they have not been completely outlawed.
I am not permitted to perform medical practices.
Ah, here's my lucky candidate. I hope you're ready to embark on one amazing journey. The internal neuroamp is basically the next leap in our line of influential amplifiers. It gives the user dominion over a less dominant target, meaning you can heavily influence another person's thoughts and actions. Technically, that remains to be seen. It's not legal, but those decisions will be left up to a higher power who is neither you nor me. Hey, let's not get carried away there. That terminology is a bit heavy-handed. So, are you ready to get started? Neurosurgery is my specialty. I've performed more operations than I can count on a wide variety of brains. So I like to think that I'm wildly overqualified. Really, I could do this in my sleep. Oh, don't worry. That's not on the agenda. Now, just a few details before we begin. Obviously, we'll be putting you under. I'll be making a small incision in the back of your skull where the internal neuroamp will be fitted. The whole procedure should only take 3 to 4 hours with little to no downtime afterwards, provided DeMarcus got everything entered correctly.
Did I not just say I quadruple-checked the numbers?
You know I'm just giving you a hard time. Besides, I've got to make sure my patient is reassured. There's little to no risk, assuming your brain is typical and you don't have any adverse reaction to the anesthesia. First sign of trouble, we back out and start evaluating other candidates. Of course. We've got, what, 5 PhDs between the two of us?
6, but who's counting?
All I'm saying is that you're in good hands. Now, just lie down on the table once you're ready, and we should be good to go.
If this has not all been a horrible miscalculation, then we will speak again soon.
All right, let's get this party started. Well, look who's finally up. The operation was a success, obviously. Once you're able to refocus, let me know how you're doing. So, how are you feeling? You look good? Huge success. No surprises, no signs of rejection. You were the ideal subject. Now, we just keep our fingers crossed and hope no unknown side effects come creeping in later. That's exactly what we want. Just a couple quick notes before using the internal neuroamp. First, you can only influence one person at a time. And second, the effect is temporary, so be prepared if you use it in a combat situation. Let's just say it varies based on the user. Some people have greater mental capabilities than others, which would increase the duration. Great. Now let's test this sucker out. DeMarcus has graciously volunteered for science, he says. Our preliminary testing was rigorous enough that there's little to no risk involved here. The biggest unknown was finding the perfect compatible alloy for the implant. We've had the tech itself working externally for quite some time. That's the spirit. DeMarcus loves being hands-on and experiencing things on his own. It's probably why he's the second most published scientist here, after me. Just head up the stairs nearby to the observation deck.
The specs they gave me for this job are so confusing.
an observer, the effect is quite unnerving. It is hard not to immediately worry about the implications.
Describe it. 1 minute I was excited about seeing how the experiment would go. The next, I had a brief moment of disorientation and figured I must have lost my train of thought. It felt eerily natural. And yes, I admit it, just as you predicted.
I knew it, I knew it, I knew it! I can hardly wait to finish writing up my latest dissertation. And you owe me 100 creds.
I'll be keeping myself under constant surveillance now. Curious if any other side effects may manifest.
So, tell me all about it. How did it feel? Any side effects? Well, I leave that up for Alexis and Lyndon to decide. Compensation's not really my thing. Yes! Good. Hear that, DeMarcus? That's 2 for 2 now.
I heard. It really was fascinating how all I experienced was a moment of disorientation. It's truly remarkable tech. Those are the kind of edge cases that I let the board work out. Obviously, tech like this is going to come with its fair share of red tape. Not at all. But I can imagine if I experienced disorientation like that, but regained my awareness in another room, it could be a bit jarring. We'll definitely be running some more tests in the future, though. So many situations to account for. When it comes to your job, you bet it does. Besides, the neuro-amp is in total control. If a subject's morals or beliefs in something are strong enough, we still see points of failure. That being said, it's been interesting to discover the actions our subjects sanction in their own minds.
Okay. As much as I'd love to go over the details and potential of this amazing piece of technology I created, Masako wants to see you. It sounds like you have an assignment to complete, and DeMarcus and I have a lot of notes to record.
Fingers crossed that my latest experiment will be a success.
You're here. I wasn't sure how accurate Veena's promise of no downtime was going to be.
Let's just hope her promise of no brain damage.
Now that you've been outfitted with the internal neuroamp, it's time to put that tech to work. We're sending you into Infinity Ltd. Lucas Drexler is about to learn exactly why you don't steal from Ryujin Industries. And wish he shall, every day, while he rots away in prison. All right, Yuko has provided a layout of Infinity Ltd. You have 2 options for this assignment. We'll be providing you with the means for both. Option A, you gain entry through their maintenance access on the roof. Option B, we give you an assigned identity and arrange a meeting for you. Of course not. The meeting is just a legitimate way in. Once inside, you'll be led to a waiting room where your host will be running late. That's your opportunity to make your way to either the executive floor or R&D. Option A, you need to remain under the radar the entire time. Option B, you have a slight cover that may give you the opportunity to talk your way to your objectives. As long as you're prepared when the time comes. Now, depending on your preference, you'll either find yourself in the maintenance hallway or the marketing department. From there, you have 3 targets. First, you have Lucas Drexler's computer, located in his office on the executive floor. Second is Faye Sengsavan's computer, in research and development. And third, you need to obtain the prototype they are working on, also in R&D.
As you can see, you've several floors to traverse, so I hope you're prepared for an adventure.
You'll only have free range on the marketing floor. Infinity may be cheap, but they know at least some level of security is needed in this business. That's what we're counting on. Now, I had Ularu create a program that you need to run on both Lucas and Faye's computers. I'll let her explain the details.
You see, once we expose Infinity Ltd, all of their data is going to come under intense scrutiny. We only want the public to know about their mercenary hires and unauthorized human trials, but Project Dominion needs to remain confidential. I've created an overseer program that will gather all the evidence we need, and at the same time delete anything relating to Ryujin and the internal neuroamp. Anyone who comes forward to defend Lucas would be prosecuted as either aiding or being an accessory to these crimes. They all know career suicide when they see it. As for Lucas himself, if he wants to speak up and add corporate theft to his laundry list of crimes, fine. But who's going to believe him?
It is best to keep the public unaware of such a device.
If the media were to draw their own conclusions, I'm certain they'd just create a panic among people. Controlling the narrative is of the utmost importance.
Understood.
No, we don't want a mess on this one. A body count will only distract from what we're trying to accomplish here. In fact, unless they're a master at being one with the shadows, I'd suggest you leave your friend behind. Lower the risk. Simon Rychek provided some useful info on how to evacuate civilians from the building. I'm sure you remember him from Sidonia. Infinity's maintenance crew is understaffed. It's only a matter of time before pressure gauges go unchecked and they have a massive issue on their hands. Once that pressure becomes too much, every floor in the building is going to suffer from gas leaks, setting off an automated alarm to evacuate the building. Simon was able to get a passcode for you to access their system's computer, so you can force the heating system to fail. I'm told security has masks to handle the situation, so the guards will still be stationed in the building. It's also possible they'll activate their building's defense system as well. You may run into a few automated turrets, so you'll still want to try and stay out of sight. If the information Simon provided is accurate, you can reach the control systems through a computer located in the maintenance area. It's a pretty convenient stop if you enter in through the roof access. I'd highly advise you use it. This assignment isn't the time to test your abilities. The only thing you're out there to prove is that you can get this job done. We're also issuing you an operative suit. It should help reduce their ability to detect you. These suits are typically reserved for the senior ranks, but we want to reduce as much risk as possible. Please, you're an exception. But we can talk promotion after you pull off this assignment. That's what we're hoping for. If you can pull this off, even I'll be impressed.
Once you've run the Overseer program and obtained the prototype, your final step is to deliver the slate to David Barron at the SSNN field office. If he asks questions, feel free to give him just enough information to pique his interest, but no mention of Ryujin or who you are. SSNN is used to anonymous tips. They'll do whatever verifications they deem necessary on their own to confirm the story. Ularu assured me it's safe.
The Overseer program will purge itself once its primary function is complete. The only thing left on that slate will be proof of Infinity's crimes.
It doesn't matter what he believes. David's first move will be to verify the information you provide. Once he receives confirmation, which he will, he'll see it as his duty to report the news. It certainly will, and we'll have front row seats. So, any final questions before you go? You have the ability to manipulate others. If someone's in your way, you could get them to move. If someone has a keycard, that means you have a keycard. The possibilities here are really up to you. Good luck, and be sure to report directly back to me when you return.
Here's Simon's passcode, your operative suit, the Overseer program, and your cover identity. Your cover ID card is encoded with roof entry and elevator access, so that's your ticket in, either way. Don't screw this up, Skylar Lumen.
I look forward to listening to SSNN when you return.
Ryujin CEO. Do you have the program? With pleasure. So, let's take a look. Aha! The decryption's hit a snag. There's definitely something here. This is exactly what we needed. According to this code, Ularu intended to plant false evidence that would show Masako was working with Lucas. The moment you launched the Overseer program, a series of fabricated communication files would have been uploaded to the Infinity Ltd network. One of them even frames Masako for encouraging Lucas to push for early human trials.
So it is clear what she intended. Now all that is left is to decide what to do with this information.
I'm going to copy the necessary files off this slate and issue you a new one. I want to keep this one intact, so Ularu can't dispute it. All right. Now, we finally have the evidence we need to prove Ularu's guilt.
Then it is time we use it.
There's no doubt. Should you have even noticed the upload, the program itself is designed to ignore any stop commands. It would have been too late. Yes, and had you not brought this program to me in the first place, you would have been the one planting the false evidence. Without that falsified evidence, Ularu is in for a big surprise. I fully expect she'll be eagerly awaiting SSNN's broadcast, anticipating Masako to be accused alongside Lucas Drexler. Here's the new slate with the revised Overseer program. Let's get this assignment finished the right way.
I've got my eye on you.
I've been waiting here for ages.
I hate waiting. It's just more time to doubt myself.
Something? Now we're getting somewhere.
If you, find anything else, make sure you bring it to me.
And accessories for all your hectic needs.
Dietrich's, we're fully stocked and ready to no problem. I'm sure you'll find something you like. Thanks for stopping by our shop.
Newell's Goods. We have everything you.
The bright lights and reflections are almost enough to make you forget about those living down in the well.
This is getting old.
Hope life is treating you well. Let me. Lucky for you, that is literally my job. What can I get you? See you around.
Hope you're finding if you don't see what you want. Oh, please, take a look. Thanks for shopping at Jemison Mercantile.
I got contacts. Absolutely. You need something else? I'll be here.
You're looking for a tracker, you come to the right place.
So nervous.
Kill for a cup of coffee right about now.
The trade thing about the
trade
business?
authority does
Be my
quite
guest.
well for it. Them here, and clearly they share little of the credits they make.
That being said, there's people who have it much worse.
I think I got them. What do you call them?
Saw your ship come in. Nice ride.
Can we run through it one more time?
The lives of nearly every individual in the settled systems are so heavily influenced by what goes on in this building. I'm here for you, should you need me. You will be lost without me, but as you wish.